I didn't grow up with a father. I always grew up with a single mom, and that made me and my mom very close. We were best friends. She was my best friend. I told her everything. I spent a lot of time with her, and I just confided in her with everything, told her everything, and relied on her for absolutely everything.
You know, being a single mom in a high-pressure job or different high-pressure jobs it's not something that I would recommend for the faint of heart. Also, being a mother of a teenager is not something I would recommend to the faint of heart. You know, a lot of people say, oh, I'm a single parent. But they're a single parent who, like a divorced parent is different from like a solo parent. It's different, you know, it's not one's better than the other. It's just, there's different challenges. You know, Reina didn't see her father from 2013 to 2019 because he didn't come visit her from China. So doing everything on my own financially, you know, there's no one to come on like Wednesday night and Saturday and Sunday every other week to spend time with her. So it's just me, it's just us. And so you're really kind of, what do you call it? Flying without a net. You know, there's no one to back you up. There's no one to catch you. You're on your own. So every decision you make, every mistake you make, it's yours. It's nobody else's. So throughout Reina's life, I've always worked a lot. So I worked at SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse and Mental Services Administration, and have had a career dedicated to addressing, you know, improving the mental health of our country. So Reina experienced me being pretty consumed with my work during the week, and you know, was feeling a little bit frazzled. She used to be really anxious if on the weekend I said we had to get dressed. And she's like, oh, and she used to call them our going clothes, that we were gonna have to go out. And so that meant we would put on our going clothes. And so what we developed was our pajama Sundays or pajama Saturdays.
And we would just stay in our pajamas all day. And we would go to the store, we would go to Safeway in our pajamas. She would be out in public in her pajamas. It was a little bit more age appropriate for me because I was like, I don't know, like 6. But she would be out in her pajamas, and she would stay that way because it was our tradition. Every Sunday we would do pajama day Sundays, and I just remember that those were just such fond memories because we would just spend the whole day together because she wouldn't work, and I'd have the whole day with her, and we would do fun activities like go to the store and then make food together, all in our pajamas. So I just always remember that, and I remember that was like a really important memory of my childhood. When I was 13, we moved to the house in King Farm because my mom wanted her parents to move in with us because they were both handicapped and they needed 24-hour assistance. It was a really rough couple of years with constant caretakers coming in and out of the house all the time. And I was really struggling with school at the time, socially, and that was really rough because my mom was also trying to work and she was having to take care of them pretty much all by herself. And that was just really stressful for everybody, I think. And then they passed away. I don't know, as like a 13-year-old, it was just really hard to kind of see my grandparents pass away and to be so close with them. When I got to 9th grade, my mom switched jobs. I felt as though she was out of the house for 4 to 5 days out of the week. And my relationship with my mom really suffered. We went weeks without talking. She would call me, I wouldn't pick up. I would not reach out to her. when she was on her trips. I would dread the days that she would come home, and I honestly didn't really want to see her. I think I really resented her for what I felt like she abandoned me. I started developing some disordered eating habits, and no one noticed because no one was there. My depression worsened, but again, no one noticed because no one was there. And my mom did come home occasionally, but she was really wrapped up in work, really consumed with other things, and didn't really have time to worry about me. I made my first attempt at my life. And so after that, she did take me to the hospital. I was put into a inpatient facility, and then she stayed around a little bit. She took time off work and she stayed with me. And I just remember feeling as though this was like disingenuous and that she didn't really actually care about me, and she just felt like she had to do that. I didn't see that she actually cared about me and that she was actually worried about me. And that my attempt really scared her. But I was just so wrapped up in my resentment towards her that I just clouded my vision. I couldn't see it. I had another attempt. This was probably the saddest I've ever felt. On the floor in my room with empty pill bottle and I think a beer. I was really sad and realized that that's not how I wanted to die.
You know, it was hard. I mean, I was already mostly sleeping on the sofa outside of her room because I, you know, just for several weeks I had known she was really in a vulnerable state. But then I got a call from one of her friend's moms who said, you need to go check on Reina. You know, her friend, her daughter had just told her that Reina had taken an overdose of pills and alcohol. And so, you know, your heart sinks and it just tears you apart, and it's quite sad. But at the same time, I also just go into action mode because it's so scary. And so you have to, you know, there's not really time for pulling of hair and gnashing of teeth. You have to take action and make sure your kid is safe.
It was in that moment that I realized that I was really going to work towards recovery, and that recovery was something that I knew was achievable and that I was going to achieve. I started my own nonprofit called You Matter to raise awareness for suicide prevention and mental health, and to help better support peers who have been in situations that I've been in. This has really helped me kind of establish a life worth living. I think using my past experiences to help support others and to help others feel like they're maybe not alone, because that's something that I really wanted when I was in treatment. And I don't feel like I went through a rough year for nothing, and I want to make sure that I can use my experiences to help other people and give back to the community that served me.
Whatever happens for her, I want her to find peace for herself. You know, to feel like she does have a life worth living, and that she sets the rules for herself. You know, she doesn't have to live up to other people's expectations. And I hope that she finds pursuits in her life that are meaningful and give her energy and give her joy. You know, whether that's art or sports or academics or work or having a family. You know, any of those things to me are okay. And that's not really what I would have said 2 years ago, I think. But we're going to get a fresh start. I think that's the thing about moving. But the other house is way more like put together and manicured, and it's already finished and updated. And this house needs some work. So I guess maybe that's the metaphor. we're all born in the 70s and needs some work. Sounds familiar. No, but yeah, no, I feel like this place has the potential to be the house that we always wanted. So we'll see. It's going to take some effort.
As a kid, I felt very detached from people who've suffered with mental health. I felt like I was very much an ally, not someone who was also struggling. It takes a lot of strength to be okay with openly talking about and discussing your mental health, and I think that is really important once you can achieve that. You need to be open to getting help, and that people who struggle with mental health are not in any way like lesser than, and like they don't necessarily deserve it, they didn't do it to themselves, and that I'm so fortunate to have a mom who works in the mental health sector, because without that I don't think that I would have realized that at such an early age. I think that we established a much better relationship than we had, and we kind of worked on rebuilding that relationship. And I think that today we are working towards how close we used to be.
I guess at the end of the day, the other thing is that it's not important for anyone else to know what that person's truth is. Right? We don't have to understand. I mean, it seems, for people who haven't been there, it seems unthinkable, or it seems so mysterious, or you have your own set reasons. Like there's only 3 reasons why anyone should want to die by suicide. But you know what? It's just not up to us. That's not what we need to focus on. What we need to focus on, how do we help people not be in that place? And how do we support those people that come out of it? Right? That we have the good fortune to be able to try again.